also shift focus and take a look at how the US markets fared overnight and the kind of handover we are getting for the Indian markets today. And it was a rather strong comeback session on Wall Street last night, with stocks rebounding from their Friday's sharp sell-off that they saw. Now, markets had slumped at the end of last week after fresh tariff announcements and a weaker than expected jobs report, which raised concerns about the health of the US economy. But Monday, that is yesterday, brought some relief. The S&P 500 jumped 1.5%, snapping a 4-day losing streak. In fact, more than 80% of the index constituents, they ended in the green. The NASDAQ composite, that surged nearly 2%, riding high on the gains in the tech stocks, whereas the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that rallied around 585 points, fully recovering its Friday losses. All eyes now turn to Tuesday, that is today's lineup. Key earnings are expected from Pfizer, Yum Brands and Fox before the market opens, that is the US market, followed by Snap, AMD and Rivian after the bell. On the macro front, investors will be watching trade deficit data and purchasing manager updates, which could offer some fresh insights into the economy's momentum going forward. So that's how the US market setup is looking. But Ashesha, how is crude performing?
Yes, so US markets ended on a positive note yesterday, but when we talk about crude oil, we haven't seen much impact today morning, especially after the kind of move that we have seen last week. Today, after Donald Trump's comments on the trade between India and Russia, we have not seen major impact as far as oil market is concerned. In fact, it is down for the fourth consecutive session to trade near that $68.7 per barrel mark. Remember, Russia is a big player in the global oil market, and if India were to stop purchasing oil from Russia, then perhaps global oil prices could shoot up, but the market clearly is not penciling in that, and crude oil prices today are declining for the fourth straight session to trade near that $68.7 per barrel mark. Now, apart from that, as far as the yellow metal is concerned, that is gaining for the fourth straight day, and it is trading near $3,379 per ounce mark. Now remember, safe haven demand seems to be resuming, especially because Jerome Powell's succession planning is being considered, so that is raising concerns about safe haven demand now resuming in the global market. And traders are also optimistic about a rate cut in the month of September when Federal Reserve next meets. In fact, there is 98% probability of a rate cut in September, and that is also leading to the kind of move that we are seeing in the oil market, because remember, lower interest rates is always a positive for the yellow metal. But to understand how the global